meeting of the Town of Poughkeepsie Zoning Board of Appeals. You can all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The procedure for tonight's meeting is the applicant will proceed up and give sworn testimony. Anybody who wants to comment on any of the applications can do so, and then if we close the record at the end of the applications, we'll do a deliberation. And you can stay for the results, which is probably best because I think it's going to be pretty short tonight. Okay. All right. Item number 1, Anthony Cuccello, 36 Carmen Drive. There's a request to adjourn that until our October 15th meeting. Any objection to that? No. Then I'll make a motion to adjourn it to our October 15th.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Number 2 is 10 Kathy Road. Is there someone here for that application?
I'm the current owner of it, I'm not here for the application.
Okay. Then we'll move to number 3. Dan Pizzarelli, 17 Robin Road. Come on up.
Stay and sit.
You can sit if you would state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Dan Pizzarelli, 17 Robin Road, Poughkeepsie, New York, 12601.
All right. Do you swear or affirm the testimony provided tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Okay. Thank you. What do you want to do?
I want to add a deck to an existing deck that I have a pool put up, and I want to add a deck to attach to it. So I have an existing deck on the back of the house. There's about 15 feet in between the pool and the deck. I want to just attach the two together.
Okay. And when you say deck, are you talking about the porch?
Yeah, there's a porch on the top of it. It's a raised ranch, and it's like the downhill. So there's a deck on the top of it, right, where the sliding glass doors are. And there's a staircase that leads down to the concrete.
Okay.
I want to have 2 steps down to a landing, 2 steps down to another landing that will be around the pool. The pool's about 7 or 8 feet below the deck.
Okay. And the pool deck will be at the level of the pool?
Yes,
Okay. And when are you thinking about starting it?
tomorrow.
Okay.
There.
All right. Any questions, Phyllis?
Waiting for approval.
Tonight
That's
it
all.
was light enough tonight. He'd start it tonight, right?
The rain's been holding me up, so.
Will the new deck look like the old deck that's off to the back of the house?
We're gonna modify the old deck to make it look like the new deck. Cause it's older, and the railings that are on the old deck, I don't really like.
Okay.
So I'm gonna change the railings to match the new deck.
Okay. That was all. Thank you.
Yes.
Carmen?
I have no questions.
No questions.
Nothing from me?
No questions.
No questions.
Perfect.
Anyone from the audience?
Not yet.
All right. Entertain a motion to close the record.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Carried.
What?
If you wait a few minutes, we'll probably get to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
I'm not worried.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Number 4 and 5 are Myron Holdings
Thanks for
at 127 Fulton and 141 Fulton Avenue. Anyone here for that?
monitor.
Okay.
That's very strange.
Either they may not know that it's 6 o'clock or they may be in transit. I do know that Paul was planning to come tonight.
Okay.
All right, anybody from Beacon Residential? All right, then, any objection to going into deliberation on the,
What about the gentleman?
well, he's still waiting for,
Oh, okay. No, let's.
okay.
We do that? We can do that, right?
There was no staff,
No, not for this one, no.
Okay, anybody have any objection to the variance for number 3? Any comments? Okay, then I make a motion to, why don't I do the, whether an undesirable change will reduce the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties created by the granting of the variance. It seems in light or in fashion with the rest of the community, there are other pools in the community. It doesn't appear like the deck would pose any sort of change in the character in a negative way. Whether there can be some other way for the applicant to pursue it other than the area variance, there's no other way to do that based upon the location of the pool and the house. And whether it's substantial, it's not particularly substantial based upon the lot size. And I don't see that it'll have any adverse effect on the impact of the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. And while it was self-created, I don't see that as a reason to deny it.
Just for the record, you're doing 2 different
Two, right.
variances. Okay.
Right, both the pool and the deck. Any additions that anybody want to add to those comments?
I'm good.
Okay, then you want to do a motion?
I move that the board approve the request for an area variance set forth in item number 3. This decision is based on a review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, and the staff report, and its results of site visits by the board members. In approving variance, the board adopts the findings as set forth by the chair. So moved.
Vice Chair.
Vice Chair. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Accused? Okay.
That has to be a record.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Go start your work.
Sorry, the office doesn't open until 8 o'clock tomorrow morning.
We're almost done already. Just waiting now.
Do you want me to call?
Somebody.
Hi there.
Our next one, this is,
Thank you.
That's
which
St.
application?
Kathy Road?
This is a double
Yes.
R capital.
Okay.
I can walk in and everybody's here. How are you?
All right.
Good. You state your name and business address for the record?
Ismail Roman with Double R Capital. Business address is 2 LaGrange Avenue, Poughkeepsie.
Okay. You swear or affirm that the testimony you provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. What do you want to do?
So this is an existing garage. There was an open building permit from 1959 that I would like to close out. I guess it was built. The house was bought and sold many times. And it's a little too close to the neighbor. So that's why I need the variance for. But it's been existing for the last 60 years.
Okay. Any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
I'm good.
No questions.
No question.
All right. Anyone from the audience want to speak about this? No? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to close the record.
So moved.
Second? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. You want to deliberate on this one? Okay.
Really?
All right.
Yeah, you can't move it.
So let me suggest these. Whether an undesirable change will reduce in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties. It's been in existence for quite some time with apparently no problems. Whether the benefit can be sought by achieving some other method, I don't think that it's feasible to move it those number of feet. Whether the area variance it is substantial, however, it's been standing there for a long time, so I don't think that there's much impact. And whether it have an adverse effect or impact on the physical or environmental conditions, again, it's been existing for quite some time with apparently no impact. And it's quite clearly self-created since it was purchased and with that garage there and done without a building permit. But I don't think that's a reason to deny the application. Want to do a motion?
I move that the board approve the request for area variance set forth in item One or two? Sorry, two. This decision is based on a review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, and the results of site visits by board members. We don't have a staff report, do we?
No.
In approving this variance, the board adopts the findings as set forth by the vice chair. So moved. And there are no conditions, right?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it carries.
Thank you.
And then I suppose we could take a short break.
Yeah, let's,
See where everybody
Jim says this job is hard. I don't really know.
I don't get it.
Paul?
Yeah.
Number 6.
They're not here yet either.
Nobody here. Can we do the other things?
Yeah, we can do that.
Your
When
paperwork,
do we do them? Get them out of the way.
Okay.
your paperwork.
We're gonna do the,
I started.
Okay, we're back in session.
take that.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board be the lead agency on emergency 1 at 2555 South Road.
Second that?
Was there, you second that?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so everyone knows that's the old Germanos building. They're gonna,
Is that what's going in there finally?
yeah, they're gonna just knock it down and make a smaller building. That's the plan.
There may be an area variance that comes to the ZBA next month on that one.
Good,
But
it'd be nice to see that used again.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Any objections? Okay, then all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that carries. And I make a motion that the Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board be the lead agency on the Camelot Village Mobile Home Park site plan at 589 and 621 Sheaf Road in the Town of Poughkeepsie. They're combining a couple of lots, and then there's a new access to the property.
I'll second that.
Any comments? Okay, then all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, that carries.
That, the Germano changeover, is that gonna be, that's gonna be, emergency one, that's offices, right? That's walk-in emergency care?
It'll be an emergency one, so.
Yeah, it's going to be an urgent care. yeah.
Jack, knock in a box.
Another one? Darn it. What happened to my?
It'd be nice to see that parcel used again. It's been kinda
Yeah.
We
falling
haven't
apart.
gotten to it yet.
You know, it's interesting, because they just had one of those dock in the boxes that was connected to the old
Kingston is,
Who's this?
roads are flooded in
He
Kingston.
was
Who's this?
going in the other door too.
Gosh. Good.
Jen from our office has updated all of these documents with the correct owner.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And
mean the
I also
apartments?
have
Yeah.
updated prints.
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, there's just 2 prints, and then if there's enough for the entire
Okay.
group there, they're just collated.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
All right. Obviously, you guys look in the audience. Where you go? I have to recuse
Okay.
because I live at one.
Why don't you state your name and business address for the record, please?
Yes, my name's Paul Bikert. I'm from Timely Signs at 154 Clinton Avenue in Kingston, New York.
Okay, these are items 4 and 5 on tonight's agenda.
Okay,
You swear or affirm the testimony you provide tonight is true and complete to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Okay, can you describe your application for us?
Sure. Our client, Myron Holdings, have these 2 adjacent parcels, 127 Fulton Avenue, which is the apartments, College View Apartments, and the 141 Fulton Avenue, which is the tower. They have recently done a rebrand that they've been working on for a while, and that has necessitated an update to their exterior signage. The signs that they have currently are in pretty poor state of repair. The additional, the apartments especially have 2 entry points. And there have been some difficulty because of the apartment numbering system or lettering system is mounted on the building, and the trees have become rather mature over the years. And they had asked us to propose a couple of small freestanding signs to help people as they're driving by know which entrance to turn into for the two apartment complexes. There's the first half of the buildings and then the other half. So you'll see, I'll just go through the page by page here. We've lettered the signs. Here. So for the just 127 Fulton, we wanted to have the address out near the building, so that's on the top of the sign. We realized there really aren't any address numbers posted there, which seemed a little dangerous in terms of 911. So they wanted to do that. They have the logo on there that says College View Apartments, and then the first entrance there is buildings A through F, and the second one is building G through J. Both have 2 different entry points there. There's also a freestanding sign that is currently facing out to the road, which is, I believe, sign A. And that replaces, that one's really facing out in the wrong direction, so we wanted to do an updated sign for that. And that one is, all of these do need variances, unfortunately, because of the limited square footage we're allowed to have. So you guys should have a complete package of those, and that's for the 141 Fulton Avenue. And that is that one says College View Towers on it.
Okay.
Okay.
And the county responded?
Matter of local concern.
Okay.
Both addresses,
Okay.
Nice.
On both of them.
both addresses, yes.
Okay.
All right, any questions? Phyllis?
No questions.
I have no questions.
I don't have any questions.
2 questions. Double-sided signs for the most part?
Yes, they're both double-sided, and they face the traffic going in both directions.
And looks like none of them are gonna have lighting on them.
There's no lighting on those, no, not unplanned. Does the client have the option of putting electric on there? You know, to ground-mounted fixtures?
We'd have to look at the lighting regulations on that, because I think we'd want to make sure that you're not shining up and creating a lot of light spills.
Right.
So we'd have to take a look at them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's.
So if we did shielded
lights,
fixtures that are
probably-
close on the
Probably on the
top,
top,
yeah, we could definitely do, we've done those.
Shining down instead of up, right?
right.
Yeah.
right.
Okay, downlight is preferred there.
I think so. But
Okay.
we can have a conversation about that if that's
Yeah.
something you're going to.
Well, I'm going to give I think that, honestly, I think the existing sign has been non-illuminated for years. I'll give them the option of maybe doing a reflective face as an alternative, and then possibly doing a discrete fixture, a linear fixture on the top, which we've done. And those look pretty good, and they can be easily shielded visually from oncoming traffic, so it doesn't create a visual distraction for
It
motorists.
doesn't take a lot of light to.
No, not really.
Hey, nothing else?
I have a couple questions, if I could, just on the size.
All right, I think
Is that
that's
all right?
okay.
Yeah, thanks. I just, on the size of sign A, I noticed as I was looking at doing the staff reports on these, is somewhat larger than the 2 signs that you're proposing for the apartments, which are sign C and sign D. And I wasn't sure why that was necessary, I guess. Looking at it seems like they serve pretty much the same purpose. You want people to be driving down the road and see the sign.
Are we talking about the tower apartment one being larger?
Yes, correct.
That one was just sized to be, I guess, closer to the one that's currently in place. It's just the way it was developed.
Because signs D and C don't require variances for their size. The reason that we're looking at a variance at 127 Fulton is because we have 2 freestanding signs on the one parcel, right? So that's what that variance is for. The signs themselves conform. Sign A is larger. Now, so I just wanted everyone to be aware that that's the case. The other thing, the new packet that was just handed out, the one thing that's different that I want everyone to recognize is sign A has been moved over to the east side of that entrance from Fulton Avenue. And the reason for that is hard to know without looking at the property lines. This white dash line is actually not a property line. It's just separating out creating notice that there's 2 parcels in play. But the property line actually runs almost through that entranceway. And so in reality, what you end up with, and I don't know the history of why it is this way, is an off-premises sign where the current sign is for the towers. So by moving it over to this side, which they agreed to do, we were able to avoid that issue. So that was the only reason why this has changed since the ones that you have in your packet. So that's all I got.
Okay, all right.
Did you want to address the size of the type on the building at all?
Oh, well, I mean, that is another question. The wall sign is, could the wall sign on the building be made smaller? I don't know if it could be made as small as what would conform to the zoning, but the ZBA is supposed to,
The
give
ZBA.
the smallest, the smallest amount of relief that they need to. So it's something to consider. Is there a rationale for the size of that?
We kind of wanted it to be, it's really important for them to keep their, they've invested a fair amount of time and energy and resources into creating like this logo lockup where College View is large and then the towers and apartment is below. In some municipalities we work in, it's essentially the area of the dimensional letters, but with the town of Poughkeepsie, it's just a rectangle that encompasses the outer perimeter of it. So there's a lot of blank negative space on the bottom. We found that when we reduced it down so that entire box was within the, within the allowable square footage for that, it just looked very disproportionate because of the scale and the length of the facade, and then also the height of the building creates a pretty large visual mass, and the logo just kind of looked like it was just lost and floating there. So that was essentially it. We brought it down a little bit from the original drawings. They wanted it a little bit larger, and we kind of tried to get to a happy medium, but we did need a little bit of additional square footage for that, just to make it look reasonably balanced. I also tried to get them to just do everything in a single line in terms of just kind of creating because we could get there with smaller square foot within that, but it created a long linear one, and they just didn't like the way that looked different than the freestanding signs that they had proposed. They're attempting to be a little bit more conscious about staying consistent between the apartments and the tower. That was the rationale behind that. So.
How does it compare in size to the sign that's on the face now?
The sign on the face is just a single line of somewhat nondescript serif letters from the 70s, and the lettering there probably meets the code, but it's just a single long line of text, which was designed to be proportionate to the length of the fascia when the building was designed. So we're trying to shoehorn this new brand onto a structure that admittedly is not an ideal proportion for this logo. But I don't believe that the person developing the brand had signage in mind, which I run across a lot. So.
Okay. Anything else? Nope. Then we'll close unless anyone have any comments. Okay. Then we'll close the public record. This is, each of these are uncoordinated reviews, so I'll make an application or a motion that the ZBA be the lead agency for environmental impact.
Second.
Should we have a motion for the public hearing?
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
close it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second that too.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And one recusal. Okay. Now I'll make a motion that the ZBA be the lead agency for environmental impact on both 4 and 5.
And I'll second that, both of them.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, and then based upon the short EAF, I don't think there's any, I think I make a negative declaration on each of these applications on number 4 and 5.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. You want to deliberate on this one, or you want to do Beacon?
You did. Oh, no, deliberate now. Wasn't it deliberate?
Okay.
You are taking down all those, excuse me, other signs, right? That says we'll tow you away and no parking and all that stuff. They're all going away?
Yeah, the ones that are deteriorated? Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that was the goal of the project, is to really get rid of all the
Clean
old
it up.
rusted out and, take the things off the building, so, yeah.
Good.
Okay. You want to make a motion?
And this is going to be on number 4?
Yeah, we'll do it separate. You have the comments, right? You have the staff comments? You have a copy of the staff comments?
127, yes, I do. Okay, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or detriment to nearby properties, the staff comments are the addition of the...
No, you can just do the motion and
Just do the motion and
adopt
accept them, okay, I'm sorry.
all
All right, so make a motion to approve the area variance in item number 4. I move that the board approve this request decision is based on a review of the application, the testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, results of site visit by board members. In approving this area variance, the board adopts the findings set forth by the staff report. That's it.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And one recusal. Okay. You'll do number 5?
Now, this one's not quite so easy because I did leave open-ended. Question, if you go to the staff recommendations in number 1, the 2 questions I had, I didn't want to, I wasn't sure how we would feel about them, so I just raised the question about, the size of the sign A and then the size of the wall sign. So some discussion about that probably would be necessary first in order to adopt the findings.
Well, first of all, the towers are set back from the roadway, and they're pretty much shielded by
Vegetation.
I don't see that it's going to have an impact, certainly on Fulton Avenue and not on Raymond Avenue. So I think once you get into the property, that's when you'll see the sign. So I don't necessarily see that it's going to have any impact on the outside environment. And actually, I did both 4 and 5 on the negative declaration, so.
That'd still be okay.
Yeah, okay. Anything else?
Well, I guess then the question is, I did note in the staff report that the wall sign is not highly visible from Fulton Avenue, so I agree. I raised the question, but I didn't have a strong opinion about it. The freestanding sign, I guess, is the question. That one is, we pointed out that that size is larger than the 2 other freestanding signs on the neighboring property. I don't know if that's anything that you want to consider or not.
I looked at the diagrams provided by the applicant, and it did not seem to be particularly imposing. So I don't think that, again, that there's much of an impact there based upon the location and the new location where it is.
That's the one that's out by the road that you're
Yes.
talking about?
Yeah, one out by the road.
So with that in mind, if you have to change any, how do you have to modify your?
Don't have to change anything in the findings. That should be considered.
Okay.
So as long as you had a discussion and considered it, then I think you can move forward with the findings as they are.
You comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
I move that the board approve the request for an area variance set forth in item number 5. This decision is based on a review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the final hearing, and the results of site visits by the board members. In approving this variance, the board adopts the findings set forth in the staff report. The approval, and there are no conditions.
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? And one recusal. Okay.
Thank you. I just have one question. I will have the conversation with my client about lighting. What is the process involved in terms of going back?
I would say.
It's just a simple application to the building department then, just normal sign?
Through the sign. It would probably be part of the sign permit again, so
Okay.
you'd have to have Lizette take a look at it, Lizette Ortiz, the zoning administrator. So,
Okay.
All right, so come in through Sandy or myself and we can
Okay.
help you out.
Yep. We'll have Jen call. I wasn't sure, I think they talked about lighting the towers, but, because I think there may be electric out there, but I'm not sure about the apartments and, prefer it be either all or not, all 3 or none. So I'll just talk to them about that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, good night. And last on the agenda is number 6, Beacon Residential. I make a motion to open up that public hearing, even though the applicant is not here.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. With an application, it's really just a renewal of a expired variance that was granted. If anybody has any questions, unless anybody has any questions, then I move to close the public hearing.
Pretty straightforward. We approved it a couple of years ago.
All right, then I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Carmen, you want to come up? Yeah. Okay.
Two seconds.
Okay.
Okay, if there's no further discussion, then I make a motion to, for the board to approve the request in area variance set forth in item number 6. Decision is based upon the review of the application, testimony of the applicant, testimony offered in the public hearing, results of site visit by board members, and the staff report. In approving this variance, the board adopts its findings, determinations found in 1 through 5 of the staff report.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's carried. Is there any other business anybody wants to talk about? Then I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very well. Thanks for coming.
Good.
What took you so long?
I'm just doing this.
Yeah, but.